What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another favorites video for you. So today I'm actually sharing an updated version of my top favorite orange nail polishes of all time. And this is actually a video that I did I think like 4 years ago at this point, and I recently saw it pop up and I looked through it and I realized that I use almost none of the polishes that I listed in that video anymore. My favorites have completely changed, so I thought it would be fun to sit down and redo it. Now in today's video I am just going to be focusing on orange nail polishes. I do have a lot of peach and salmon favorites, but I think I'm going to do a separate video on that because I have a lot of orange favorites. I've got 24 favorites to go over with you today. Obviously, this is just personal to my preference. These are just formulas that I think work really well and colors that I think are really beautiful, but just because I didn't list something that may be your favorite doesn't mean that it's not good. Let's just dive right into it. I'm going to start off with the cream finishes. I do have 6 favorite cream finishes. The majority of the polishes that I'm talking about are the more specialty finishes, so I'm just gonna knock these out of the way first. This first shade is by Sally Hansen. It's part of their Insta Dry line and it's called Pumpkin. This is actually my go-to drugstore orange nail polish. It's really just a bright classic orange color. I think it works perfectly for any season. The formula is really nice. It's self-leveling. It is fully opaque in 2 coats on me, but I think people with shorter nails can probably get away with wearing it in 1 coat because it is very pigmented and it is on the thicker side. Like I said, it is part of their Insta Dry line, so it is meant to be very quick drying, which is great to have, especially for a drugstore brand. But the one thing I will say about Sally Hansen in general, but especially their Insta Dry line, is they have an absolutely massive brush in the nail polishes. And I do like a wide flat brush, but even this one is just slightly too big for me. So if you have small nails or very strongly curved nails, this might not be a great nail polish brand for you. Also, this particular polish is more expensive than I usually see from Sally Hansen and from their Insta Dry line. I'm not sure if it is because it's a collab with Sour Patch Kids, but I will warn you, the price is more in line with salon brands than it is with drugstore brands, so just something to keep in mind with this one. Moving on, we have another drugstore polish. This one is from Essie and it's called 2DIY4. And this is actually a very similar orange color to the shade Pumpkin that I just showed you. It's slightly deeper and it has a little bit more of a red undertone, but I still think that this is a versatile kind of orange. I think it works for any season. It is a lot thinner than the Sally Hansen formula, but it's still very opaque and it's actually, again, almost a 1 coater on me, but I do need 2 coats for full coverage on my nail length. And again, I just think it's a very classic orange color and I think it's a very beginner friendly brand. It's very accessible. It's sold in a lot of drugstores. I actually used to not like the Essie formula at all, but it improved so much since I stopped using it and then restarted using it, so I'm very impressed with them now. Next up we have a shade from OPI. This is Have Your Panettone and Eat It Too, and this one is a medium orange cream that has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it, and I think that that yellow undertone is what I find gives orange polishes a more autumnal look rather than that sort of summery bright look. It almost just makes it a little bit more brownish toned, which I think works really well for especially the fall season. As far as the formula goes, in my opinion, I think that OPI has the thinnest formula out of any of the mainstream brands, but it still manages to be very opaque. I feel like I can get away with wearing 1 coat of a lot of their polishes, but because they're so thin, I like to do 2 coats anyway, just so that it feels like I have a full manicure on my nails. But yeah, it's a very opaque polish, and again, it's a very easy formula. It's very self-leveling. Next, we have one from China Glaze. This one is called Spice to Meet You, and this one's actually a little bit deeper and darker. It has a little bit more of a reddish tone in it than the OPI shade, but it actually almost looks a little bit more brown when you compare it to the brighter orange colors. It really is interesting to see how these colors change based on which polish I'm holding them next to, but don't worry, there will be a comparison chart at the end of the video so you can see all of them side by side. But yeah, another very thin but very opaque formula here. It's very self-leveling. I do get 2 coats, perfect coverage, and again, this feels like a very autumnal color to me. And then we have another Essie shade. This one is called Risk Takers Only, and this is actually a great example of how even polishes with the same undertone can look so vastly different from each other. So this is again a deeper orange color that has a reddish undertone to it, but this one is a lot more vibrant, so it doesn't have that dustiness that the China Glaze one I just showed you has. So it ends up giving it a lot more of a summery shimmery vibe. And honestly, again, just seeing these side by side is so interesting because next to the other shades, this one almost looks like a red, but when you put it next to a red polish, it looks so orange. And again, the Essie formula is just so good. This one is actually fully a one coater on me. I'm showing you 2 coats, but I have worn this as a one coater. I think it's so impressive. And then the last cream finish of my favorite oranges is this one. It is from ILNP and it's called Turbocharged. And this is actually a neon orange cream. And I will say, I like a lot of orange neon polishes that I have, but this color, which is actually somewhat recent, has really taken over my favorites. I think it's just eye-searingly bright. The formula is so good. I think neons in general are pretty thick and not usually very self-leveling. So I would say in general, most neons aren't very beginner friendly, but this formula is just so smooth and easy to apply, and it's so opaque. It's almost a one coater on me, and it doesn't need a white base coat underneath it. Honestly, applying this feels like just applying a regular polish, not like applying a neon, which I love in neon formulas. And as far as indie brands go, ILNP is extremely well priced, so you definitely get a lot of quality for the amount you pay. So it's really just amazing. And this color, it's just so fun. It's like traffic cone bright. And just a quick note, this one does dry down to a semi-matte finish, which is pretty common in neon nail polishes, but I just put a glossy top coat over it. Okay, so onto the specialty finishes now. I've got a lot of them, but this one is probably no surprise. I know I sound like a broken record when I talk about this polish, but I cannot get enough of it. This is Orly Light My Campfire, and it's actually somewhat new to my collection. I got it last fall, and I immediately fell in love. This was definitely one of my top nail polishes of 2022 and one of my top nail polishes of all time. It's just this really stunning, almost metallic orange shimmer that has this very beautiful yellow undertone to it, and it gives it a very autumnal look. Like I said, it's got that brush strokey finish, which I personally love. I think it elongates the nail beds, and the color is just so vibrant. It really looks very glowy. Around the edges, you get this deeper brownish kind of color, but then when the light hits it, you see that orange glow just kind of lit from within, and I just think it's so perfectly named. Also, this one is fully a one coater on me. The formula is just incredible. The opacity is perfect. So yeah, I love this polish. I will never get enough of it. Next up, we have China Glaze Orange You Fierce, and this is a stunning shimmer. It's actually this really light orange jelly-like base that is packed with a golden shimmer, but then also these teeny tiny gold and pink flecks, which add so much dimension to it. And this one is on the sheer side, so I do need 3 coats for coverage. But personally, I think it's so worth it. I think it's such a beautiful bright color. I will say the little pink flecks are very shy on camera, but in person, I think they add so much dimension. And it's actually really funny. I didn't realize this until I was swatching all of these, but the pink and gold combination of glitter seems to be pretty common in orange nail polishes, and it's definitely something that I gravitate towards. So you'll see a lot of that in today's video. Next up, we have ILNP Euphoria. This is actually another jelly orange base. It's a little bit deeper, and this one is actually packed with a scattered hollow flaky as well as orange metallic shimmer, and the formula on this one is just amazing. It's super packed with sparkle, and even though it is a jelly formula, it actually gives me 2 coat coverage, and it covers up my visible nail line, which is really nice. ILNP really knows how to make a good orange, especially in the last few years, so you will see a few more of the ILNP oranges in today's video as well. But yeah, I always thought of this as just a perfect summer color, but looking at it now, I think this would also work really well for fall. Next up, we have Rogue Lacquer Smashing Pumpkins. This is actually what I'm wearing on my nails right now, and I have to say I am mesmerized by this color. This one is just another stunning orange shimmer. It's got this medium orange base, and then this reddish pink to gold shimmer running throughout, plus these bigger silver hollow bits that I like to call diamond chips, because that's just what they look like to me. They just like add a little chip fleck. I just think it adds so much to the polish, but the color itself is so stunning. The way that the light hits this color with that red shimmer coming through is just so vibrant and fiery. And again, it just feels like a perfect any time of year color, but I am definitely feeling this for end of summer, beginning of fall vibes. And also, the opacity is incredible. I'm actually wearing 1 coat of this, so it is super opaque. Next, we have KB Shimmer That's Ranunculus. And this one is actually a reflective Shimmer nail polish. It's a medium orange base and it has this really intense pink shimmer running throughout, plus a flash reactive yellow shimmer. So if you're not familiar with reflective polishes, they almost look cartoonishly bright. Like it looks almost unreal on your nails when you're using flash photography or when you see them with a flashlight. But even just in regular lighting, I feel like that yellow shimmer is so intense and it just adds so much to the polish. So just a couple of quick notes on flash reactive polishes. One, they do dry down to a bit of a gritty finish. So if you don't like that textured feel or that liquid sand kind of feel, you probably want to do 2 coats of top coat for these types of polishes. And also flash reactive polishes tend to be a little bit on the thicker side, so it's not as beginner friendly of a formula. Personally, I think that the KB Shimmer ones are pretty easy to use, but if you are not comfortable with a thicker formula, I would probably avoid using flash reactive polishes in general. Next up, we have Potion Polish October, and this is actually a fairly new one to my collection, but it instantly became a favorite of mine. It's this orange base that is packed with this really delicate hollow flaky, but what makes this special is that it's actually a gold hollow flake rather than the usual silver, so it really warms it up, and again, it just makes it feel like a very fall inspired polish. This is another one that is 1 coat full coverage on me, and I do think that the hollow is really beautiful and subtle. It's very shy on camera and it definitely is a little bit more subtle, but you can still see it when it catches the light. It's so beautiful. And then we have another Potion Polish one. This one is called Fallen Leaves, and this is another one that is new to my collection, but again, it was another instant favorite. It's more of a jelly base that has a little bit of a reddish undertone to it, and it is full of these really interesting golden hollow shard glitters. It's definitely not a flaky. It looks like it has the thickness of a hex glitter, but it's in these irregular shapes. It almost looks like if you took gold hollow hex glitters and put them in a blender and got these really funky shapes out of it. And I just think that's really interesting. It definitely gives the illusion of like falling leaves, and with that jelly base you get the beautiful layering. So just another instant classic for me for fall. Next up, we have another ILNP. This one is called Pumpkin Patch, and this one is a beautiful orange base that is absolutely packed with these delicate little golden flakies. And this base is actually more of a jelly-like formula as well. So when you're first applying it, it almost looks like it has this pinky tone to it, but it gets more orange as you apply more coats. And again, there's just something about that combination of an orange base with a golden shimmer or flaky in it that just feels so beautiful and warm to me and just perfectly fall. Although you'll also see it works very well for bright summery colors, but that combination just works so well for these types of shades. And I just think this one feels just so perfect for autumn. This one is definitely a thinner and less opaque formula, so I have worn it in 2 coats for a less vibrant look, but if you wanted to look like how it looks in the bottle, I would recommend doing at least 3. And then we have another one from ILNP. This one is called Trick or Treat, and this one is such a cool formula. It's an orange jelly base that is packed with these champagne metallic flakies plus a scattered hollow sparkle. So it's just so packed with stuff and a lot of visual interest, and it's just really cool to see how those metallic flakies really soften up the color of that orange base and make it feel a lot lighter, but it still manages to be very intense and very sparkly, and then to have that added hollow sparkle on top of that is just really fun. Next, we have A. England Flaming June, and this one is actually a really interesting twist on that orange base gold shimmer combo. This one is a light orange scattered hollow, and it has a yellow shimmer running throughout, but when you look at it in the bottle, you can actually see that that yellow shimmer is pretty green leaning, which is so unique. I think it just adds a lot of contrast to the color, and I will say it definitely looks warmer once you have it in that orange base, so it's not as apparent on the nails, but it definitely adds a lot of brightness to the color, and this is one of those shades that I just think feels super summery, so it's definitely on the brighter, more intense side. The formula on this one is on the thin side, but it's very smooth and easy to apply. It feels very buttery to work with, so I do get perfect coverage in 2 coats on this one. Next up, we have Painted Polish Pick of the Patch, and this one is truly Halloween in a bottle. This is a very yellow toned orange crelly base, and it is packed with metallic flakies in purple, green, and black, so it is truly the essence of an ugly, pretty nail polish to me. In fact, this did make an appearance in my favorite ugly nail polishes video, but I just think it's so interesting and funky. I know that the color combination in here might be off-putting to some people, but I love it. Like I said, it just gives very Halloween-y vibes to me, and I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, and I just think it's very different from what other brands are doing. I love when brands aren't afraid to be funky and kind of weird looking. As far as the formula, very smooth, very easy to work with, and it's extremely opaque. So this is actually a one coater on me, but with Crelly formulas, I usually prefer to do two, even if it is more opaque, just because I like getting the layers of flaky or shimmer coming through the bottom layer. So now let's move on to the brighter, summery kind of colors. We had a lot of autumnal shades, but I've got a lot of brights as well. This one is Holo Taco Box Office Bomb. Again, another relatively new one in my collection, but I instantly fell in love with it. It's a jelly base that's packed with the scattered hollow sparkle, but it's this really nice, soft but bright orange color. It almost has like this milkiness to it. So it kind of, I don't know, it's giving me creamsicle vibes, and it does build coverage really nicely. It is actually a two coater on me, even though it is a jelly formula, but if you have longer nails, you might need a third for this one. Next up, we have OPI Mango for it. And this one is almost what I would call a neon pastel base, and it is packed with these iridescent flakies that mostly look yellow, but at some angles you can see a little bit of that pinky vibe to it, and it's just a really nice summery color. It's almost neon, but it's not quite as eye-searing as a true neon is. I will say the formula is not as self-leveling as I'm used to from OPI, but I do get full coverage in two coats on this one. I do think that it looks a little bit less self-leveling on camera than it does in real life. Just something to keep in mind. Next up, we have one from LA Colors. This is called Solstice, and this is a dollar store neon jelly that is packed with iridescent glitters, which I love to say all of those things at once. I just love to see this type of finish from a dollar store brand, and I just think this one is so fun and really great quality for the price. We've got this super bright neon orange base. The iridescent glitter in here is fairly sparse, but it's bolstered by these smaller orange metallic glitters, so it's still really packed with glitter. It's just not all iridescent. I do think it's hard to see the iridescence on camera, but in real life you definitely see a lot more of it, and mostly that iridescent color looks greenish into pink, which I think is really funky. But yes, like I said, the color is a neon, but it is less intense because it is in that jelly formula, so it's intentionally sheer. You do get a little bit of that visible nail line, which I know not everybody likes. Personally, I love it, and I also think paired with this kind of color and glitter, it feels very nostalgic. Next up, we have another one from KB Shimmer. This is called Any Way You Slice It, and this is another just really fun summery orange shade. It's this bright orange base that is packed with iridescent gold to pink shimmer, and also there's these tiny little flecks in there that give it more dimension. It does lean a little bit yellowy, but I think that's more because the golden shimmer in there is just so intense, but the base is definitely very orangey, and I also think it looks a lot brighter and more vibrant in real life than it looks on camera. The iridescent shift is hard to capture. It does seem thin in the first coat, but I do actually get full coverage in two, so that's very nice as well. Next up, we have one from Cadillacquer. This is December 8th, which is not a name per se. This is actually the December 8th polish from the 2022 holiday advent calendar that they did, which had so many gorgeous polishes for the whole year, and this one just felt like the perfect summery orange to me. It's this neon orange. Like I said, it leans almost a little bit peachy, and again, it's packed with that like slightly greenish undertoned yellow shimmer, and again, it has those little flecks in it to add a little bit more dimension and catch the light when you're moving your nail around, which I love to see. And I gotta say, Cadillacquer comes out with these really impressive neon shimmers, and I think their formula is just perfect for them. It's very smooth and it's very workable. It's really nice opacity. I actually have full coverage on this one in two coats. Next up, we have one that might might be borderline not orange. This is Mooncat Flight of the Monarchs, and this one definitely toes the line for if I can consider it a favorite orange, but it definitely looks mostly orange out of all the colors that you can see in it, so that's why I'm including it. It's actually this really sheer orchid colored base that has a very intense iridescent shimmer that right when the light hits it, it looks very orange head on, but around the edges you can see this golden color, and then without the light, that iridescent shimmer almost looks like a blue purple kind of shade, which is just so pretty and unique. I honestly wouldn't even know how to classify this color. It's so special and fun. It's definitely on the sheer side, so I do need 3 coats for the coverage that I get, but I definitely think it's worth it. It's just such an interesting and unique shade. I'm actually very curious to try this one over a base color. I wonder how this would do over like a deep orange. And then last but not least, we have a topper. This is Starly Citrine. And I gotta say, this is such an underrated polish from a very underrated collection. Starly actually made these flaky toppers in every color, and I truly love them all for how versatile they are. But yeah, onto this one specifically. It's an orange metallic glitter shard topper, and it's just so gorgeous. I think it works really well over any color, but especially over black, and it definitely gives that little bit of a Halloween vibe there. But I also love pairing these types of shard glitters over in like a monochromatic way, where I have this over a lighter or darker orange color. But I also love it for deli sandwiches. Again, a monochromatic look is gorgeous, but it also works really well with white or black. So it's extremely versatile, which I very much appreciate. And also, if you want to spend a lot of time doing one manicure, you can do glitter placement with these, which I did do once. It took forever, but it was definitely the coolest manicure I've ever done. But it does take an extremely long time. But yeah, I just think these toppers are so underrated and they're so versatile and fun. But yeah, that is actually it for my top 24 favorite orange nail polishes. I'll put a big comparison here so you can see all of the shades side by side. I'm definitely noticing a lot of similarities in these polishes. It definitely seems like the majority of what I like is a specialty finish, specifically more autumnal leaning oranges, and especially with a golden shimmer or a golden to pink shifting shimmer. That seems to be where my sweet spot is when it comes to orange polishes. But all of these are just really incredible formulas, really beautiful colors, and I like to wear them a lot. But I am curious to hear from you. What do you think of my picks? What are your favorite oranges? Do we have any overlapping favorites? Or are there any that you think I really need to know about because they might be similar to these shades and I might fall in love with them? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my favorites videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It helps me and lets me know I'm doing a good job. I definitely need to do a refresh of a lot of my all-time favorites because I have gotten a lot more polishes that I love since I released those videos. So let me know what color you want to see me do next. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, a huge shout out to my supporters on Patreon, my Royalist Charmer Amanda M, as well as my Cosmic Admirals, Rocket Man's daughter, Paula, Ken, and Rosie. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Pookie Bear, and Pookie Bear wants to know, what is something silly you're afraid of? I definitely get irrationally afraid at night. I don't know why, but I just feel like nighttime is like when I start believing in supernatural things. Like during the day, I'm like, no, ghosts are not real. And then at night, I'm always just like, they actually are real. But I will tell you guys something absolutely mortifying. I don't know if I even want to put this out on the internet, but I used to have a very silly fear. When I was a kid, I was scared of automatic flushing toilets. I don't even know exactly what it was. One, there's the startle factor because, you know, there's always those automatic toilets that start flushing while you're, you know, still doing your business. And that, you know, it's a little bit of a jump scare. But I guess when I was younger, I had this terrible fear that I would fall into the toilet and then it would flush me down. So I definitely used to have a very healthy fear of automatic toilets. And if I went into a bathroom and it had automatic toilets, I would not go. I would just hold it. Since then, I have I overcame my fear. My high school actually had automatic toilets, so by then I was good. And now I gotta say, I strongly prefer automatic toilets because I hate touching the flusher. So that always grosses me out. So now I have a very healthy appreciation for automatic toilets. But yeah, if you want to share something very silly that you have a fear of, leave it in the comments and we can chat about it and we can laugh about it. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.